tax from your estate. Okay? I want to bring in Grover Norquist. Come on, let's discuss this. Wealthy people don't pay estate taxes. They've got enough lawyers and trust funds to get around it, usually. If you've got enough money to spend on lawyers, you can get around this one. So what's the problem? Why are they proposing this estate tax hike on the rich?
Well, they're doing two things. Yes, they want to increase the death tax, but they're also putting in a second death tax, which is eliminating the stepped-up basis at death. So when somebody passes on a farm, a small business, a home to a son or daughter, the recipient would have to pay the capital gains that had accumulated during their parents' life and pay it immediately, not when they sell the house, not when they sell the business. This is something, as awful as that sounds, think about what Biden's doing. This is an idea that they passed in 1976. It was such a bad idea that they never quite implemented it because they couldn't figure out how to do it. And in 1980, a Democratic House, a Democratic Senate, and a Democratic president got rid of it. Biden, new thinker, bipartisan, wants to go back to something that the Democrats recognized was a disaster back in the 70s. And imagine, this would be the destruction of small businesses and family farms across the country. It is targeting small businesses to make sure that parents and kids can't continue a small business.
Well,
and by the way,
can't you get around it? I mean, look,
how?
at the moment, there's an army of estate lawyers who will create
Won't do you
trust
any
funds
good.
for
You can
and
lawyer
your
up
children.
all you want. The government's going to tell you how much your farm is worth, how much your land is worth, even though there may not be a market for it. How do you like that? The government's going to say, this is what we say it's worth, and you have to pay the capital gains on that now with cash you don't have. It is that
That's
awful.
impossible. I mean, that will be absolute destruction of small businesses and the fortune which you yourself have built up.
That's the point.
That's
Those
incredible.
people don't vote for Biden. Those people don't say thank you every day to the government because the government isn't running their lives and telling them what to do and giving them stuff. They don't like people like that. This is not a problem for them that they're going to be wiping out millions of small businesses.
True. True. But will it go through? And we've got Senator Manchin over the weekend saying keep the filibuster. That would seem to me to rein in any of these extreme measures. Do you really think that that kind of estate tax would actually pass? Do you think it'll pass?
All it would need is 50 votes. They will do it through reconciliation. The Democrats have said that's their plan. If one or two senators say this tax is too destructive, if Schumer talks to people in New York, if the Democrat senators in Vermont actually talk to small business and vote, I'm sorry, not Vermont, Virginia, you could stop it, but it would take some very brave Democratic senators who haven't shown up yet to stop it in reconciliation.
I think this is one of the worst things I've ever heard. That's just the seizure of the wealth that you've established over your lifetime, and on which you probably already paid some significant tax anyway. I've never heard anything as bad as this one.
And they did it in the 70s, and they knew it was awful, and the New York Times commented in 80 about how impossible the whole thing was as they finally got rid of it. They're going to do it again.
The New York Times has come a long way from 1980. Grover, I'm very glad you're on the show pointing this out because, that's really made me very unhappy. But thanks for joining us.
This is one of 3 failed taxes they're trying to bring back. This is not the only one.
Come back soon and explain the other 2. I'm going to be all ears. Mr. Norquist, you're all right. Thanks for joining us, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, if you filed your tax returns and you still haven't received your refund, well, don't hold your breath.